This is the plaintiff, Andre Clemens. She says she let her friend, the defendant, drive her car home from a night out at a Halloween fright fest. And while they were at a red light, the defendant let her foot come off the brake for a second. She rolled right into a stopped Jeep in front of them. Now her car has a gaping hole in the front grille. The defendant promised to pay for the damages, but once she presented her with the bill for $1,350, her tune changed. And here they are. This is the defendant, Ashley Livingston. She says she and the plaintiff have been friends since high school, and she can't believe her former friend has actually dragged her into court over this little mishap. They agreed right there on the spot to split the $600 worth of damage because she was doing the plaintiff a favor by driving her car that night because she wasn't feeling good. Besides, she could have avoided all of this by just going through her insurance, because that's what insurance is for, isn't it? She's accused of tapping it, but good.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff let the defendant drive her car home after a Halloween party and crashed. But the defendant says she was doing the plaintiff a favor. It's the case of enough tricks. Give me a treat. Money.
Thank you, Douglas. Andre Clemens?
Yes.
Okay, you are suing your, I guess, former friend, Ashley Livingston, for $1,350 that you say she owes you to repair a car that she crashed that was her fault. Tell me what happened.
Ashley and I knew each other since high school. We grew up together. We graduated together. She went away to school. I stayed local. We lost contact. And then we recently rekindled our relationship as friends last year. So we would go out and just hang out and spend time together. So for Halloween, we were invited to a Fright Fest event in Long Island.
Fright Fest?
Yeah, I think it's a Fright Fest.
A party or what?
No, it was like a haunted house and a corn maze. And she met me at my house. She drove to my house with her car, and then I agreed to take my car. And we picked up a friend, my niece's mom, Destiny.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And so you get to Fright Fest, and what happens?
We were standing on the line. The line was extremely long. It was like a 2.5-hour wait for each event, the haunted house and the corn maze. And somewhere in the middle, the adrenaline got to me, and I got sick. So I got off the line.
In the wait? You didn't even
Yes.
wait to get scared? Like the adrenaline just got, okay.
I was scared.
All right.
I was terrified.
So you went to the car and you rested in the car?
No, I went to the parking lot and I vomited.
Oh.
So after that, I felt better. And then I went back to join everyone on the line. They already went through the corn maze.
Oh.
After that, they were standing on the line for the haunted house. So I stood on line with them. As we're standing again, adrenaline gets to me. I'm just terrified. So
wait, you're terrified of the line?
I'm terrified. I'm just like in anticipation. I'm just scared. So I got
You're
off the line
scared
again.
of what's gonna happen?
Yes,
First of all, you were scared of a corn maze, so let's talk about. Were there like spooks in the corn maze or something? What was she afraid of the corn maze for?
There was scary antics.
Yeah.
But
okay. So this is not your thing.
No, at all.
Right.
I was just trying it.
You were trying it. Okay, so go ahead.
So I got off the line again, and I just waited in the car.
Okay.
She and Destiny, they both texted me to see if I was okay, how I was doing, and I let them know, like, I'm in the car. I took a nap, and then I moved the car closer for them as people were leaving.
Right.
After that, Destiny, myself, and her family, we were in the car. Ashley, she asked me if I was okay and how was I feeling. And I told her, I wasn't feeling well. I was sick.
So she offered to drive? You asked her to drive?
I believe she offered to drive. It was
either way. So either you ask her to drive or
she
she offers to drive. She's driving.
She drove.
And what happens when you're driving? I love your outfit, by the way. That's why I keep staring at it. I don't mean to be rude.
So we dropped Destiny and her family off, and I was on our way back to Andre's house, and we were sitting at a red light, and we had been there sitting. So my foot was on the brake. I did take my foot off the brake to take my shoes off because my feet were hurting, and we rolled into the back of the 270.
Wait. Do you drive much?
Yes.
Like, why did you take your foot off the brake?
We were sitting there.
No, I understand.
Yes.
Why didn't you put the car in park or put your other foot on the brake or do something so that an accident wouldn't happen. Like you're sitting there, you got your foot on the brake, and then you're like, your sneakers tight, so you take your foot off the brake.
Well, I didn't take it all the way off. I slid my foot off, so my foot wasn't entirely off the brake. It was just enough for me to take my heel out of my shoe.
And then what happened?
It rolled into the back of the 2017 Wrangler.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it was enough to hit the Wrangler. All right.
Yes.
Now, was there damage to the Wrangler?
Yes.
Okay. The Wrangler's a car that's in front of you?
Yes.
And then you were driving a what?
Infiniti Q50,
What year?
2016.
Okay. What did the Wrangler driver say or do?
He had damage done to his license plate bracket, and he just asked how we were going to handle the situation.
And?
And I paid for the part. I purchased the part. I paid for it and had it sent to him.
Okay. And then, Howie, do you plan on handling the situation with your friend Andre? Because I can't help but notice that I'm here.
So if I have a car, but I get sick and you drive me home and you get in a car accident and it's your fault, are you responsible for the damage to the car?
I don't think you're responsible for the damage to the car. I think the insurance, the owner of the car and the insurance tied to that car follows the car.
What do you say, ma'am?
Yes, because you're in control of the car.
I am in control of the car. Who's going to be the deal breaker here? What do you say?
I believe you're not responsible for the car.
Because?
Because the plaintiff, well, the owner of the car has insurance, and he would just have to hash it out with them.
Even though you were the one that crashed the car?
Even though you were the one who crashed the car.
We will find out going inside the courtroom.
So we went back to our home. I was distraught that this had happened, and we sat in the car. We looked up parts, and they were around $637, and we agreed that I would pay half. So once we talked about it, we looked up parts, and we came to the agreement.
What about labor? Because that's body work, right? Can I see the pictures of the car? Did you put them into evidence? Okay, that's the damage, right?
Yes.
All right. So, ooh. Okay. All right. So, according to you, you look up parts, but who's going to do the labor for free?
Well, it was agreed upon that I just help pay for the parts because, as we said, we were friends.
So you're going to pay half of the parts for an accident that you're 100% responsible for because you were doing her the favor of driving. How's that fair? You know, when you do the favor of driving, like I'm sure if she knew that you were going to take your foot off the brake because your feet hurt, she probably wouldn't have asked you to drive. You know, like you kind of like the agreement when you say, yeah, I'll drive, is that you're going to drive without exhibiting negligence. Was there ever an agreement that night that you guys would split it?
No.
Okay.
We were in the
so
car.
you end up taking it somewhere, and the estimate for parts and labor is how much?
It came to $1,350.
And you paid that because
Yes.
you had your car fixed.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the bill for that?
Yes.
By the way, did she ever pay $300?
No.
She never paid anything.
No.
So you guys rekindled this friendship after all those years, and how long did that friendship last?
Months.
Months, and then this happened. So I take it you're no longer friends. You're not exactly hanging out with each other with this thing
She
hanging
blocked
over
me.
your head. Huh?
She blocked me.
She blocked you. Wow. Anything else, Miss Livingston?
Other than I never saw the receipt for this, that was the work that was done.
I mean, I'm looking, this is a 2016 Q Infinity, it's not going to be a budget job. They kind of charge you based on how nice your car is.
Yes, thank you.
Now, one of the things you had said in your answer to the complaint is, why didn't she just go through insurance? Because we wouldn't be here if she had. That, of course, is never a defense for the person who exhibited negligence, because there could be a million reasons why she doesn't want to go through insurance. First of all, she may have a very high deductible. Second of all, she may not want her insurance rates to rise. So she doesn't have to go through insurance. My verdict in this case, after what I've heard, is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,350. Good luck,
Thank
folks.
you.
So, in a pretty cut and dry case, the plaintiff prevails. She gets what she's seeking. Ms. Livingston, what can I say? The only question is, why didn't you pay her, help her?
I had intentions on paying her because I am a noble person, but I didn't pay her when she wanted me to pay her. But every action has a reaction and there are consequences, so.
And the consequence, you're getting sued.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
Okay. So I gather there will be no friendship. If you blocked her off your social media and your phone and everything, that's it, right?
Yes.
Okay. End of story. You got to pay. Sorry. Here comes Ms. Clemens. When did you decide? What point did you decide to bring her to court?
The tip of the iceberg was at the end of the year. I gave her a date She said she was going to pay me before 2018. 2018 came, and she still hadn't paid me.
So you just knew you had no other choice.
Exactly.
Right? Well, good for you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. You get your money. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna teach you something here. If you do somebody a favor and you are negligent and cause them damage, you are fully responsible for the damage.
This is the plaintiff, Wilton Whitman. He says he's the warden of a nonprofit organization that puts a Halloween party on. The defendant purchased 4 tickets at a great time, but refuses to pay him for the ticket costs. He has no idea why this woman's being so darn difficult. Today's his day in court, and he can't wait to collect the $180 he's owed. So he's suing. This is the defendant, Ileana Vasquez. She says she's already written him 2 checks for this darn party, and the plaintiff insists the checks were never cashed. The party was in 2015, for goodness sakes. She's paid him not once, but twice, and refuses to pay again. She's accused of haunting a non-profit.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff runs a nonprofit, throws Halloween parties. Defendant bought tickets but won't pay. The defendant says the party was in 2015 and she's already paid twice. It's the case of trick or lawsuit.
Thank you, Douglas. Mr. Widman, you are representing South Shore Power Squadron here as their commander,
Your Honor.
and suing Ileana Vasquez for $180 for 4 persons admissions to a Halloween party back in 2015. What's going on?
Well, actually, it's 2014, the Halloween party, and we did the Halloween party in conjunction with the local yacht club.
Now, what is South Shore Power Squadron? What do
We
you
are a educational organization teaching safe boating through education. We've been in existence since November 10th, 1928. We just celebrated our 90th anniversary.
Oh, good for you guys.
Okay.
All right, so so you have this Halloween party in 2014.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
Okay.
And
No,
then what
that's
happens?
Okay, Your Honor. In essence, the Treasury collected money from the participants, which was the Vasquezes as well as other members of the squadron. They paid the fee to a check to our treasurer. I in turn turned over a check for the amount of money collected to the yacht club. Unfortunately, now this involved an evening of open bar, 15 to 15, 16 dishes of food.
Was everybody in
dessert,
costume?
In costume.
Prizes
It was a
for the best costume?
A costume party.
Did everybody participate, or
Yes,
did some people come not in costume?
No, everybody participated.
Do you have pictures of your costume?
No,
What'd you go
unfortunately.
as?
Oh boy, it was so long ago.
I
I
know.
don't remember.
But what do you dress up every Halloween? I mean, come on, you remember what you went as? What'd you go as?
Do you remember?
Do you remember?
I think it was a doctor's uniform.
Okay, so so they pay.
Yeah, they
And
went.
then what happened with your treasurer?
Well, what he did is he put the checks in a folder, similar to what these are, put it away and forgot about it. It wasn't until April or May of 2016 that he realized the checks were never deposited. By this time, the checks have gone dead.
Well, they're stale. They're sitting in his.
Okay.
Why did he not? You mean none of the checks or some of them?
None of the checks got.
Is he
no.
still your treasurer?
No, he's not the treasurer
Okay.
anymore.
Did he remain treasurer after this debacle?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes, he did. How much
Yes.
longer after this
Well,
did he remain treasurer?
Well, I'll explain that to you now.
Yeah.
What happened is everybody gave replacement checks.
Okay, and then you replaced the check.
Yes.
Right.
I
And
did.
then what happened?
Okay. Lo and behold, he does the same thing again. Yes. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
I'm being very honest about it. That's exact, and I have the documents to prove it.
Oh, we
And what
all know it
is-
happened.
What happened is there were 2 outstanding checks. The Vasquez and one other member.
And so when did they replace the checks the second time?
That happened again later on in the year, in November or December.
So when does the accountant get fired?
He only got replaced about 3 months ago. You have to understand, Your Honor, we're a volunteer organization. Nobody's paid a salary here.
Okay, when do you take the helm?
Okay. I took the helm I was there in 2014. I was not on the helm in 2015 and 16. I took the helm again in 2017.
Okay,
May of
so you're the one who
2017.
sends the letters.
Right. Now, at that point, on the 13th of July, 2017, the fact that the second go-around of checks were not deposited came to light.
And were
then-
all of them not deposited, or just hers and another one?
One other one, right.
Oh, just two weren't
Just
deposited?
two were
Okay.
redeposited.
All right.
The treasurers kept on saying to everybody, I have the minutes here of the meeting to prove it, that he was in contact with Mrs. Vasquez, and that she wanted him to send her the copy of the check that didn't get deposited.
Okay.
He neglected to go and do that.
He neglected that too?
Yeah.
How do you not remove him?
He finally resigned. I
Yeah,
convinced him to resign.
Oh, what did it take to finally convince him to resign?
He
All right,
didn't.
you went to the party, right? You
Yes.
had fun at the party.
Yes.
Okay, you got the check finally. He finds the check, and the second check, and he
Yeah.
sends you a copy of it, and he says, please,
Right.
pay us a third time. Okay, and why won't you pay?
So, if I give you a check and you forget to cash it, do I still owe you the money?
I don't think so, because it's about how truthful the person who's said that they lost the check or that it's.
So I'm in the clear?
I think that, yeah, you are in the clear.
Wow. Going inside the courtroom.
It's not a matter of not paying. Each of us gave them a check of $90.
Oh, no, sweetheart, we know you paid.
Okay.
On the night of the party. We know that. Then we also know you paid a second time.
Yes.
We know that. You know that neither the first time nor the second time got cash. Then we also know you paid a third time. And you know, because you've had a chance to look at it, that neither the first nor the second nor the third time got cash. You're just angry that they're asking you to pay a fourth time, right?
To give another check.
Yeah, I know. I know. I don't blame you. I would quit. Are you still part of that group?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
It's a lot of shenanigans.
There's too many things.
Did you go there? Did you go to the party?
Yes, I did.
Did you eat and drink?
Yes, I did.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
So what, other than just that it's annoying as can be, what would be the defense to, what I would do is I would go there, I would hand them cash, and I would get a receipt. I don't want to hear another word from them ever again. That's what I would do, and kind of laugh it off. Why has this reached the point of a lawsuit?
Well, because first, a couple of months ago, the treasurer calls me.
The same one, the treasurer?
Yes. He calls me and tells me that I never paid.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. He told me, you never paid. And then he says, and this is not going to go away. And I said, I told him, I called him by his name, and I said, no, you're wrong. I gave you, this is the second check I gave you. You have to give me a copy of this check. He never once told me that the check was not redeposited, okay? What happened was, we haven't spoken in over 2 years since we quit the Power Squadron. In October of 2018, I get the letter from them.
him?
Yes, from him.
Did you get insulted from the letter?
I did get insulted.
Why were you insulted from the letter?
He says, you better pay by this date or else. That was to me like a threat.
Show me the letter.
Sure. After I served in the Power Squadron since 2012, I was the AO on duty. I did a lot for this organization. I brought a lot of revenue to this organization, and I felt insulted to get a letter like that.
Well, I don't condone, we're not going to name him, the treasurer's failure to comply. You have had ample time to do so since receiving the check. It is now obvious that your numerous replies for a copy of an uncanceled check was nothing more than to delay and or avoid a replacement check, since you could at any time verify the check was not cash. Well, that's kind of a nasty accusation. Your check was to pay for an evening. This is your last chance to do the right and honest thing and replace the check. If you fail to do so, I will go to Nassau County District Court. You will pay my parking fee of $6, $15 court action fee, and 9% interest. I have all of the necessary records to prove the case against you. This is a little severe under the circumstances.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to tell you, because this may be your first time in court, it's not mine, that if you'd been a little nicer, we wouldn't be here. But you got to pay for it, okay? I am not going to order her to pay interest, because the only reason you've had to wait 3 years is from the incompetence of your treasurer. But I am going to order you to pay the $180. Should I make you pay the $15? I can't decide. Usually when someone wins a case, they get their court costs paid because they won. So I have to. I'm going to order you to pay the 15 also. So he gets the 100, his organization gets the 180 plus the 15. But I'm going to give you, I know I'm a youngster to you, right?
Yes.
I'm very young to you.
Yes.
I'd like to think that. But just a word of advice, because I do have a lot of experience on this. I tell my children, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Just assume that what you are writing is going to be interpreted in the worst way possible, and then rewrite it. Because, especially when you're asking somebody to do something, don't threaten them when it's, either the third or fourth time you're having them do it. Anyway, good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the plaintiff's organization is going to get another payment from the Vasquezes. You're going to have to pay, okay?
Yes.
Are you surprised at that?
No,
Let's just step over here. There, good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I would have paid. It's just I'm glad that she told them this is not the way to treat a person who was part of this organization and insult her in this fashion. And I wanted her to tell him that.
Well, I think the judge gave him that message.
Yes,
in
and
no
I'm glad.
uncertain terms.
And you know what? And I'm very happy about that because he needed to hear that.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Whitman. The judge kind of let you have it in one way, said you were not very nice to her.
Well, I think I was very nice to them. It's been on for 2 years.
Yeah,
I don't.
but
I
you
don't.
had checks.
Huh?
You had the checks. You know.
No,
You guys
I didn't have the check. The treasurer had the check.
Well, that's what I mean.
The bottom line is the only reason we're here, the only reason we went to court is I'm required to safeguard the squadron's assets, and that's
Okay.
exactly what I did.
I think the judge means that if you were a little nicer to her, you get more with honey than with vinegar. She would have paid
I
you.
thought it
That's
was
what she
nice. In
said.
the
She
end,
said
I
it was a
said that
nasty
was
letter.
enough.
All right.
All right.
Okay, good enough. Well,
Thank
you're going to
you.
get the money plus $15.
Yeah.
Walk out. You're ahead of the game.
Not me. The squadron's head of the
That's
game.
what
Has
I
got
mean.
the money
That's
you
what
paid
I mean.
for.
It's
Thank you.
Okay, good enough. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Harvey?
It's so important that you keep records for all transactions. You never know when it's going to end up in court.
This is the plaintiff, Paul Mendez. He says he was driving on Halloween night last year and the impatient defendant tried to pass him. And as she was cutting him off, she misjudged the turn and sideswiped his car. She then tried to speed off. He called 911, and when she finally stopped, she got out of her car and started banging on his window violently. Her boyfriend was arrested. He comes to find out the plaintiff has no collision insurance, and he's suing her for the $2,073 he's owed. This is the defendant, Stephanie. She says the plaintiff was the one who cut her off, and back and forth they went until he hit her car. She thinks he was drunk because he was acting like a complete jerk. Bottom line, she doesn't know the plaintiff because he was the one who caused the accident. End of story. She's accused of cracking up.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant tried cutting him off, smashed into him, and took off. But the defendant says the plaintiff did the cutting off, and she thinks he was drunk. It's the case of it's all in the road rage.
Thank you, Douglas. Paul Mendez.
Yes.
You are suing Stephanie. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name for $2,073 that you say she owes you for a car crash.
That is correct.
All right. Where were you driving?
So I was in New Jersey, down in Lindentown, and I was on the South Park Avenue.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you come up and show me with the cars that are there? Just pick a car to be you. Wait until you get there to start talking.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. So this is South Park Avenue right here. And this is.
You don't need a pen. You need a magnetic card. Don't mess up my art.
All right.
All right. Just like orient yourself based on what's there.
So this is my vehicle right here. The defendant was directly behind me.
Right. And is there a red light?
It's a red light. Yes.
Okay. But you have not advanced fast enough when it turns green.
When it turned green.
Right.
Went around. Went on the left-hand turn side only.
Right.
And then.
All right, so your car moving or isn't it? Because the car doesn't turn.
Yes, no,
okay, I need you to focus because you're taking a car and going like that, and cars don't do that. So the whole point of this exercise is for you to tell me how the accident happened. So I'm going to need you to go slower, and then tell me the light changes. Are you moving?
Not yet. I'm not moving.
So you haven't moved at all?
I haven't moved
And
yet.
then this car does what? Goes around you?
Goes around. Then I start moving.
Then you start moving.
And this is when the collision happens.
Because that car doesn't expect you to have moved at all? They were trying to cut in front of you?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, had you had any contact with that car before that moment?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. Okay. So that's the first time that you noticed the car when it hits you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and go back. Now, Stephanie, can you tell me what you say happened?
I was going straight coming up 1 and 9, and as I was driving, he kept cutting. He came out of nowhere and cut me off.
Okay.
So I went around him.
To do what?
To go to follow
cut
a
him
friend.
off?
Yes.
Show him who's boss?
No, I was following a friend to the movies.
Okay.
And he cut me off. So what I did was went around him, and every time I would
And
go
then, wait, when you say you went around him and then cut him off, right?
No.
Okay, let's phrase it a different way. You went around him and got in front of him again.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Then he tried to go around me again, like he
And
was
get in
playing a
front of
game.
you again.
Yes.
And did it happen? Did he get in front of you again?
Yes.
And then you went around him and tried to get in front of him again.
Because I was trying to follow a friend because he kept speeding up.
Okay, so then you went around him and tried to get in front of him again. Did you get in front of him?
No, I didn't get a chance because he sped up and hit the side, made me hit the side of his car.
So how many times were the two of you playing Quien es más macho?
So who are the ruder drivers, men or women?
Men.
You say that angrily.
Men.
You think so? Why?
Because, well, I've been in a couple of car accidents, and it have been with men, and they had no driver's license, jumped out the car, and...
Fair point. Okay. What do you say?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be women are the ruder drivers here.
Because?
I don't know. I've just had bad experiences with women.
Are you talking just on the road?
Just on the road.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
How many times did this happen?
Maybe like 3 times.
Okay. Why would somebody say that if it didn't happen? Because it doesn't make them look good. It's like basically they're admitting that they and you were up to no good.
I understand.
They and you were exhibiting a little road rage.
I understand.
So why would she say that if you had never cut in front, she cut in front and you cut in front? And there is no reason why she'd say that. And then my question to you is, why would you not admit it?
Your Honor, this was all in the red light. Like, we were on a red light. All the other cars are stopped. There was no way for me to go in front of her.
Are you still denying that you guys were doing this?
Yes.
Before the red light. Obviously, that's not when people are stopped. It's before you get to the red light. Are you still denying?
I don't remember ever this happening.
One
this
would
person
remember.
before.
One would remember. That's not how this stuff works. People remember. They remember because their blood pressure starts to boil, because they get angry. People remember. All right, so now when she hits you, what's your first move?
My first move is to call 911 and ask her to pull over.
Ask her to pull over?
Yes, so we could exchange insurance.
Wait. How do you ask her to, was her car stopped?
I lowered the window, and I started making a motion for her
to pull
turn.
over?
Yes,
Okay.
to pull over. She was already on the left-hand turn only. So
Okay.
there was an actual gas station on that side, and I was
Okay.
pointing to pull over there so we can exchange information.
Okay.
At that moment, she got out of the car and ran towards mine and starts banging on my window.
And what happens?
Then the police arrived. They told her to get away. They told
They told
this
her to
gentleman-
get away? So the police saw her banging on your car?
Yes, they told her to get away.
Is that in a police report?
Pardon?
Is that in a police
It
report?
is not in the police report, no.
Okay, can I see the police report?
Of course.
Okay, so go on.
Okay. At that moment, the gentleman there started making threats. The
How?
officer, just saying, "Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat you up." You
In
don't know
front
who
of
you're
the
messing with."
police?
In front of the police. At that moment, the police officer said, if he continues with that actions, he's going to arrest him.
Did you get arrested?
Never got arrested. No, he was
You
not
got
arrested.
put in a police car?
No. Yeah, he was not arrested. He was not put in a police car. The officer said, if you continue with that action, you would be. At that moment, she started telling
Did
him
the
to calm
police
down.
tell you that?
No.
Were you screaming?
Well, I was telling the guy, like, yo, it was your fault, man. We gotta, like, do something about this. It wasn't her fault. I'm here. I was
How is
a
it not
witness.
your fault if you were in the left-hand turn lane and you were going
Because
around
the way
them again?
she was driving, I thought
Yeah,
he
but
was drunk.
how are you in the left-hand
He's
turn lane
swerving
when the
all-
hit happens? You're supposed to turn left if you're in the left-hand turn lane.
It wasn't no
I'm
solid.
sorry, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Right. What's your answer to that?
Well, I was trying to go around because he
Yeah, I
just
know.
kept cutting me off. And
No, I get
was-
it.
Yes, I was trying to go around him. And when I made it to go around him, that's when he sped up. Like, it's like he was waiting for me to move so that he could hit the side of my car. Like, so I could hit the side of his car.
All right. But in the end, you are in a left-hand turning lane, and instead of turning left, you're trying to go around and get in front of the car there because the car's been chicken necking with you. I believe you on that. I believe you that there's this. I believe you. Right. But when you're trying to do that, you understand that you are in a left turn lane, and then you're going into, so you can't do it without, you can't do it, period. You're supposed to turn left.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see the damage to the cars. Do you have damage to your car?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. Nothing. Not a scratch. Not a.
When the contact happens, did you feel it?
No, I didn't really
How
feel.
do you not feel it?
I
You
felt
gotta
it's like a
feel
little
steel on steel.
It was like a little bump. It wasn't.
I didn't had to feel it though.
It wasn't a hard impact. It was.
Show me the pictures of your car. I mean, that's a hard impact that I'm looking at there. That is a hard impact. Don't tell me that's not a hard impact. That's not believable. Look at that. That's a pretty hard impact. How many estimates do you have?
2.
Let me see both estimates. What happens if I believe her when she says everybody was playing Canis Mas Macho here? What happens if I believe that? If I believe that there's this and a little bit of that, what happens?
If the accident would have occurred not in the section where it's left-hand turn only, it would have been partial fault of both parties.
You're a little too slick for my taste.
I'm sorry.
Because what he just said now is kind of true. The problem is that when the impact happens, it's only your fault. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're in the left turn only lane. But you ain't getting any diminished value because I don't feel like it.
I understand, Your Honor.
I believe that there's some culpability on your part. I think you're lying to me when you say the first time you met her was at that moment. I believe them when they say that there was this. It's just that when the impact happens, it's not his fault. He is in a straight going lane and he's allowed to go. The person who causes the impact is the person who feels like, he kept cutting me off, so I was going to cut him. You can't, not from the left turning lane. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. My verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,673.41.
Thank you, Your
Your
Honor.
diminished value is up to me, and I don't, under these circumstances, feel that it's justified.
I understand.
So the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit, Mr. Stephanie. Obviously, the judge pointed out you're in the wrong here, no question about it. I had heard you were arrested, but that didn't happen, right?
No.
At all. Okay. What do you have to say?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nope.
Nope. You agree you're guilty?
No, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You're absolutely all right. Sorry about that. You're going to have to make the payment on it the wrong way, that way, doors that way. All right, Mr. Mendez. You know, it's interesting you won, but the judge flat out said she doesn't believe you.
I understand. There's 2 sides to every case, and she believed their side when it came to the back and forth.
Yeah. And you claim it didn't happen?
I claim it didn't happen. I stand by it.
All right, very good.
You do.
Well, you won anyway, so congratulations. Okay, thank you very much. Harvey?
You know, by the way, if you start cutting people off on the road and somebody gets in a bad accident and they die, you can be prosecuted for manslaughter.